Minor disclaimer about this set of videos. This was recorded on the PTR, and it's entirely possible that mechanics look or even behave differently when it's released on live servers. The Cauldron of Carnage consists of two bosses, Flarendo the Furious, a T-Rex looking mech, and Torq the Tempest, a mechanically augmented gorilla. First things first, you're going to want to split your raid into half for this fight. One group will fight Flarendo, the other will fight Torq on the opposite side of the room. This is because if the bosses get within 40 yards of one another, they will take 99% reduced damage. In addition, while you are busy fighting your respective boss, they will apply a stacking debuff that is specific to each boss, which deals an increasing amount of damage over time and stacks infinitely. This debuff is reset after Colossal Clash ends. Besides this, each boss has their own set of mechanics you'll have to deal with. I'll explain Flarendo's first. With Flarendo, the general strategy is to group up tight near the edge of the room in order to bait Scrap Bomb, which is cast on a random player and then lands in a location nearby them. The entire group will then need to soak this, as it deals a massive amount of damage to all players, including those attacking the other boss across the room, and is reduced by every player who soaks it. After it detonates, it will knock players back from the bomb location, leaving a permanent fire patch on the ground, and shoot out lava waves you'll need to dodge. It's important to conserve as much space as possible by baiting these well. Simultaneously, Flarendo will choose one random player and target them with Blast Burn Roar Cannon. This is a 3.5 second long cast that when it completes, Flarendo will rear his head back and then shoot a beam in that direction, which deals lethal damage. If you're targeted by this, you want to direct it towards the nearest wall and away from the rest of the group. And when the cast finishes, there is enough time to move out of the way of the beam and back towards the bomb to soak. It seemed like he chose the furthest player every time with this mechanic, but this may change or be coincidence. It is important that you don't aim this towards the gorilla side of the room, as the beam will reach and potentially snipe people. Flarendo will then occasionally overlap Molten Phlegm after a bomb explodes, which will create circles around each player on the Flarendo side of the room, which will require the raid to spread out quickly, as overlapping these circles combined with the other damage in the fight will surely lead to death. Lastly, the tank mechanic is called Eruption Stomp. This is a 4-second long cast that will knock up and deal a massive amount of damage to the tank and shoot out lava waves from the tank's location. There is a cadence to the Flarendo side of things that you will get used to quickly, where you group up to bait the bomb, soak the bomb, move out if you're targeted, then dodge the waves and spread with the phlegm. Then it's just rinse and repeat until the boss reaches full energy and both of them charge towards the middle and cast Colossal Clash. This will deal a significant amount of raid damage and create lava waves and zap bolt circles you'll need to dodge. During this time, both bosses are essentially stacked and take full damage, so this is a good opportunity for cleave. Once the clash is over, the groups will want to swap which boss they were on and engage in phase 1 again. Each time the bosses clash, the damage of the next clash will be increased by 15%. This acts as a soften rage for the encounter. Lastly, we'll touch on the Big Monkey's mechanics. Where Flarendo is a lot of the same cadence and group movements, Torq is a lot of individual movement and responsibility. First thing you'll notice is that there is a meter on your screen. Whenever you move, the meter will begin to fill. If you stop moving, it will quickly begin to decrease. If this meter ever reaches full, you will be stunned for 6 seconds. This is very similar to Overseer Korgus and Toldegor, and many of the other mechanics Torq has will force you to move in some way. Thunder Drum Salvo will cause all players on Torq's side to leave behind circles at their current location. You ideally want to stagger step these a bit, as it doesn't detonate instantly and space can become a problem quickly if people move sloppily. Torq will spawn voltaic images randomly in a radius around him that will fixate random players. If they come into contact with any player, they will explode, dealing a bunch of damage and leaving a void zone on the ground that persists the entire fight. These ads are CCable. At least with the latest Mythic testing, you were able to knock them back with Ring of Peace. In previous testings, you were able to paralysis them, but this may change upon release. The tank mechanic for Torq is Lightning Bash. Torq will deal a large amount of physical damage, and any damage that is unmitigated is then dealt as nature. That sums up the fight on Heroic. On Mythic, there are a few changes. The biggest addition is at the start of the fight and after every Colossal Clash, the crowd will throw out 3 toys near each boss. When you walk close to these, it will show a blue arrow indicating the direction you will kick it if you move close to it. These toys are themed after each boss, and once these toys come within 15 yards of an opposing toy, they will charge each other, which will destroy them and apply a massive raid-wide dot. If you do not resolve this mechanic by the time Colossal Clash happens, the remaining toys will charge each other, regardless of range, for 500% increased damage. In testing, we mostly had the healers deal with this mechanic, as they were the most aware of when they should be ready to heal the damage that the toys deal, as well as avoiding overlaps with Scrap Bomb going off at the same time. As for further Mythic changes, there is a minor one where Flarendo's beam frontal ability will now shoot out 3 beams in a cone, making it slightly harder to dodge. Flarendo will also cast Molten Phlegm after every Scrap Bomb explosion. Torq's voltaic images will detonate and create electrified ground even when they expire. This will put a further space constraint on the fight and reward good control of the voltaic images with Ring of Peace and similar effects. He will also cast down zap bolts periodically you'll need to move out of. The TLDR of this fight is as follows. Split your raid evenly in half and tank the bosses where they are standing. On the Flarendo side, bait and then subsequently soak Scrap Bomb. Aim Blast Burn Roar Cannon away from the Scrap Bomb and Gorilla side of the room, and spread out with Molten Phlegm. On the Torq side, limit your movement so you don't stun yourself. CC Voltaic images when they spawn. Stagger move when Thunderdrum Salvo happens to conserve space. And you'll want to swap sides after Colossal Clash to avoid accumulating too many stacks of either boss's debuff. And on Mythic, make sure you knock the toys into each other before Colossal Clash occurs. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.